So go to graph entry/edit, go to your scatter plots.
And then you type in your independent variable is X and your dependent variable is Y.
Okay, so you're going to hit X and Y?
No, you have to look at the question and type in the actual word.
Okay. Do you have to type in the words?
No.
No, remember, what single button can I press to access my variables?
Where the
Variable, right? The VAR variable allows me to find the variable. So what did I tell you is the independent? Weight. And what's the dependent?
candies.
Candies. And I hit enter, and nothing pops up. Huh? Hey Bree, do you know what Caleb just said? What did he say? Y'all, we should be paying attention and listening to each other because there are students who know what's going on and they're trying to share what they remember. And they can help us grow and to learn. One of the things I do want to point out is, if you look at the actual data, or you think about what we collected, did anyone have less than 12 candies collected? No. We're talking about people's weight even in kilograms. Or is anyone in here weighing under 10 kilograms? So you're about 22 pounds? Bree, there is no way you're under 22 pounds. You'd be dead, okay? Your bones alone weigh more than 22 pounds. Okay, so does this window make sense? It does not, right?
Zoom out.
So we need to zoom out. That's one option. So Caleb, where did you say we need to click to get started? Menu, okay? We need to change our window. So we're going to go to 4, window/zoom. Then where are we going to go? Okay. Don't forget, right? You could click zoom out. Don't click zoom out. Don't do it. Because what we want to see is our data, right? So zoom data. And there it is. That's what we wanted to see. Okay? Why do we want these scatter plots? Remember that? Okay? Better question. I need everyone's attention on this. Okay? Kelsey, does it appear that there is a relationship between the weight that someone, or how much someone weighs, and the number of candies that they grabbed? Why do you think that? No idea?
Go up.
As one goes up, the other one goes up, right? Okay. Does anyone know what we might consider that? Does anyone see any shapes there that might be useful? Like an overall shape, not it fits this perfectly. Huh? A line, right? Because what did we talk about on Friday? There is a what for this data? Starts with a T.
A trend line?
A trend line, right? There is a trend line somewhere in here. That's what we want to be aware of, is a trend line can approximate these data points. And that's kind of what 2.2 is all about. But we want to be able to graph this because we want to see what is the relationship. Well, there's some kind of linear relationship. What is the thing that we're talking about when we talk about something going up and going to the right or to the left? What is that called? The slope. We're going to use this unit to review a little bit about linear functions in general while still doing the statistics that is supposed to be covered in Algebra 2 class. Now, let's take that over to 2.2. And this is an important question that we all need to look at together. Okay, 2.2. The very first part says, hey, the red line, F1 of x, represents the average of all candies grabbed. What does it look like the average of all candies grabbed is? So we're around what? 24, right? Roughly 24 candies grabbed, or 24 candies is the average of how many have been grabbed. Do we all see that? So then we have this green line. F2 of x is the trend line for the height of a person and the candies they grabbed. Explain on the provided sheet of paper why the trend line is a better measure of center than the average number of candies grabbed. I need everyone's attention on this because this is probably the most fundamental and important idea to notice. Okay? So I'm going to I'll use this dark blue one to show this. Okay? Notice these lengths that I am drawing. That is representing how far those points are away from the average. We good with that? These green ones are representing how far those points are from the trend line. Does it appear that the trend line, or that those points are closer to the trend line, or are they closer to the average? They're closer to the trend line. Why is this trend line better? Because it has a smaller variability. Okay? That is a key idea here, which if you already have that half sheet of paper out, or a sheet of paper where you try to answer this question, you should make this note to yourself that the trend line reduces the variability because there is some relationship between variables. We're going to go into more detail about what that is, but this is important to understand that when we look at that trend line, it has a lower amount of or the data have lower variability around that trend line than there is about the average, because there is some relationship between the variables and it is explaining that. The trend line reduces the variability because there is some relationship between the variables. So, I'll wait for you all to finish writing. This is the next important question. How many candies do you predict a 180 centimeter tall person can grab based on this data?
27.
Okay, so because of this data point right here, you say 27? Does anyone have a different reason for why we expect it to be 27? That's it? Okay, I would agree that it is about 27, but not for that reason. Does anyone see another reason why it'd be about 27? I might actually say about 27 and a half. The trend line. Remember, I asked what is predicted, not necessarily what someone did. This is what someone actually did. 180 centimeter tall, 181 centimeter tall person took 27 candies, right? But what are we predicting? You see how the trend line is a prediction. Based on a 170 centimeter tall person, I would expect them to grab about 23 candies. A 190 centimeter tall person, I would expect them to grab 32 candies. There is a relationship between the height of a person and the candies that they grab, and that trend line is showing me that relationship. Does that make sense? Okay? Two more things to cover with that. First, in the slide I asked, how could we use this equation? This is part of the reason why I was frustrated, because those who said that they were done, I didn't see a single person try to use that equation. Right? I need y'all to follow those directions. There's an equation there for that green trend line. How could I use that equation to approximate the number of candies a 180 centimeter tall person could grab? Key, it helps to have our heads up, huh? Okay, so but remember, I'm trying to predict how much a 180 centimeter tall person could grab. So do we know the 27 and a half candies yet? No. So what are you saying? Substitute what?
Yeah, put 180 for X.
Why would 180 take the place of X?
Because the 80 is on the x-axis.
The 180 is my height, which is the X value, right? That's it. So, f of 180, notice how that's substituted in for X, is equal to 0.45 times 180 minus 53.4. I need everyone to pick up a calculator. I need you to figure out what we expect someone 180 centimeters tall to grab. So how many candies do we expect someone 180 centimeters tall to grab?
What do you
27.
F2 of x. Remember, f of x, it's not multiplication. When we say f of x, that's the function based on the independent variable x. That also is just the same thing as y. How many? 27.6? So were we pretty accurate just using the graph? Yeah. Right, we said 27 to 28. I said maybe 27 and a half, and it's actually 27.6. Now, can a 180 centimeter tall person actually grab 27.6 candies?
No.
No, right? So we need to be aware of that. Using the equation, we are getting an average, right? An expected number, not exact number of what they will grab. We don't know what they will grab. So what do you think is more accurate, the equation or the line?
It's the equation.
Okay, so two things. The equation is the equation of that line, right? But what's going to give us more accurate answer? The equation, because we're just substituting in, right? When I look at this line, I'm having to approximate, right? I'm having to guess roughly. So that's something we want to notice there. Hopefully we'll have time to get to this last detail I want to address, but I do want to point out, that is a trend line in green, correct? Yes? Is this also a trend line? Yep. Is this also a trend line? Yep. So which one am I supposed to use? This is the essential question that we're going to focus on when we get to a task known as square it up. Is this idea that there are lots of trend lines possible, but is there a best trend line? And we will have to make sure we understand what the best trend line is and how we discover it. Does that make sense? We good with that idea? So we're going to be looking for that later today, hopefully if we get done with our assessment quickly enough. Before we get to the assessment, all right, I'm going to cover a couple of things. All right, so contact this weekend. Some of y'all got irritated, Bree, when you're walking in, can't even be sick in peace. I contacted everyone because, and not just everyone, I contacted everybody and their parents because I'm trying to make sure I stay in contact to make sure that you get the best education. I was not calling anybody out about being bad or anything like that. Even multiple times throughout the emails I said, this is not for anyone to get in trouble. This is so that we can improve our learning, right? I need y'all engaged if we're going to be learning well, and so that's where the collaboration rubric comes out. Some of us are missing assignments that we have zeros on, so that's what's killing our grade, not our ability to do the work, things like that, right? So I want us to be successful. Hopefully this is the last weekend I will ever have to do that kind of emailing with, because as bad as, well, someone in my first blog was like, Mr. Kennedy, did you read that? It was like an essay. And I was like, trust me, I wrote it. I know how long it was, and it took forever, yes, to write. But I did it because it was essential information, okay? It was information that you needed to know, it's information your parents needed to know. Please read those emails, but hopefully I will not have to do any emailing like that anymore. And if y'all really think about it, the emails I had to send out about the active collaboration rubric, or active collaboration scores, I had to do that individually for every single student that I have. That took me forever. I do this because I care about you and I want you to be successful. When we get to homework questions, we are going to have an assessment probably after the homework questions before we get into square it up. So don't forget, this is the collaboration rubric. Already in whole class discussion, I've made notes of students that are zoned out or not paying attention. I need you engaged, and I need you thinking, I need you writing, doing something to be successful. And this is a reflection of that, right? What am I looking for at the end of the day? Like, what is the big thing I'm looking for in your collaboration?
Oh, you asked?
Yeah.
You don't want her to talk and be some good leaders in our group.
Okay? I want y'all talking, I want you asking questions, I want you listening to each other, right? Those are the big things. When you do those things, and you're talking, you're engaging, you're discussing, with the whole class, you're gonna learn to the best of your ability. That's what I want, alright? During whole class discussions, you need to actively share thoughts, ask questions, and take notes, right? So during whole class discussions, you should be actively engaged on that side as well. Alright, moving forward from there. So this is the purple sheet, the big ideas sheet. If you went through this and used it to help you study for the quiz today, you should be in great shape. What questions do you have off of this sheet before we go to the quiz? It's hard to ask questions when we don't have it out. Did any of us attempt it? Y'all, I can't help you if you're not putting in the work. I can't. Come on, hopefully some of us have it. You don't have to worry about undercoverage. Is that the one? Yeah. Everything else you have to do. Don't worry about undercoverage, but you should do every other one. That's it right there, Robert. It should have been. You just passed that on.
I don't have it here. I don't even that's not even
Robert, that's it. No, the other sheet. That's not it. I gave that out to y'all last week.
Oh, here.
There it is. Okay? Yes, ma'am. You don't have it anymore? I promise you I gave it to you, because I don't have, I'll look for some copies during the quiz.
I didn't get it.
But I gave out every copy I have, I'm pretty sure. Oh, wait, maybe you're lucky. Ooh, I did print some extras.
Was that like a grade or something?
What?
Real homework.
This is your homework that's due tomorrow. That's what I've been talking about since last Monday. This is one of the two homework things that is due tomorrow. Huh? Did you even look for it? Because I gave it out last Monday. She was here last Monday. Okay. Wait, that was it, I'm pretty sure. I thought I saw. Okay, more questions do we have? I heard placebo. Okay. Does anyone know what lesson we should be looking at for placebo? Yep, placebo, huh? Say again? It was not candy grab. It was,
Yeah, 3.5 and 3.6.
it was 3.6. Would you fall for that? I believe that it also showed up in the textbook. Maybe 1.2. Is it 1.1 or 1.2? Say again, Bree. Okay. 3.6 from Stats Medic, it was would you fall for that? Okay. We watched a video associated with it from Good Morning America. Alright. Do we need to go over what a placebo is, or are you good from there? Okay. Any other questions that we have off of this?
It's not a house.
Undercoverage.
Undercoverage, I told y'all you don't have to worry about it. Yep. So don't worry about undercoverage, I decided not to cover that. Anything else? Non-response? Okay. Anyone know what lessons we talked about with non-response? I have to go back and look, but I think non-response was 3.5. No, we didn't cover non-response in there.
Oh, yeah, Caroline.
I think you brought it up. I don't know if you asked her what it was, but you brought it up.
Yeah, it came up in 3.5, what is wrong with these surveys? Okay.
What is that?
The non-response came up under 3.5. what is wrong with these
Oh, we
surveys.
never finished the data sheet on that, did we?
Mhm. If you took notes on 3.5, you definitely should have this answer. If you didn't take notes, you can go watch the videos that are associated with 3.5. Because I indicate that in each of the videos what all is covered in it. If we need to go over non-response, we can talk about it. We didn't do the backside, we did the front side. Yeah. Do we need to go over what non-response is?
Yes.
Okay, any guesses?
No
Yeah,
response.
Thank you. Now, don't forget, it's no non-response what? There's another word with it. Bias. So this is this is a biased sample, or is bias created through too many from the sample not responding. The whole idea is that there might be something different about those who do respond than those who do not respond, but it is bias in the sample that is created through too many from the sample not responding. Any others? By the way, I do want to point out before we start going over this, I'm noticing lots of blank sheets already. Y'all have had this sheet for a week. A week to at least do something. If you did 2 a day, you'd be done by now. That's it. Okay? Do you have a question or you just hands up? Okay. So, guys, you cannot just delay. I've told y'all every day that this homework was due today. You gotta get started on it and knock it out. Or due tomorrow. Okay? Do Tuesdays and Fridays. Alright, I'm moving forward. Unless we have any more questions that we know we need to ask. Alright, 3.9 application. Is foster care better for children than orphanage? This was a little bit more recent that we covered this. By the way, I think I told y'all, but don't worry about number 4 in case I forgot to tell you. Don't worry about number 4. Do we need to talk about numbers 1, 2, or 3 here? Okay. Any questions about this? Going once? Going twice? Say again?
I don't have that. I got all.
You do. And you've had it. It's 3.9. It's that one. There you go. It's the other side of that sheet. Because that application I told y'all I was going to have you do for homework, do tomorrow. Only person that has an excuse for not having it is Bree. Bree, here's a copy of it.
I know, turn this in.
Hold on to it until tomorrow. Alright. Any questions? Going once? Going twice? Sold. Alright. Guys, I cannot help you if you don't come ready to ask questions. Let's take a quiz.
Last thing we're doing.
That's my kid.
Hopefully we get to do something else. Y'all could ask questions that might have helped you on the quiz if you'd done the homework already, to know what questions you need to ask.
My bad.
Clear the desk. Just a heads up, when you finish the quiz, there will be a file that I send to your calculator with 3 things I need you to do on the calculator as a part of the quiz. Alright, please clear our desk. We have a quiz. Hopefully we'll get something else afterwards. Yeah, it was before the test, we're just gonna use, and the emails are back saying, we're just gonna use the test to assess those scores. Hey, why are we talking during a quiz? Today is the 20th. Bree, at least do something. No, at least look at the quiz. I know that you were out, but like, I don't put those videos up for my own good. You should have watched some of them while you were sick or out. And
Who wants to
2,
work when they see?
nobody, but I don't want to do work when I'm well either. I suck it up and I do it.
Do we have to write the whole word out or no?
You can put T or F,
Okay.
but if there's any confusion over whether it's a T or an F, you get it wrong. Also, on true and false, if you don't put the right answer, obviously you very quickly get it wrong. If I were you, I might take a second to explain